All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Hey there. I'm Sherry Otto, former email lead at HubSpot and founder of Growth Lane Strategies. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest leaks in your funnel. These are the cold leads. If you're tuning in, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm coming to you from Rock Hill, South Carolina, where it's very hot in the Carolinas. But we're talking about your cold leads today, not bad leads, not lost leads, just ignored ones. So here, who knows what I'm talking about here? Yeah. So if you're ready for today's session, drop a ready in the chat, even if you are watching this on the replay. All right. So let's keep going. Share my screen here. So let's do a quick level set. Most of your cold leads, they didn't say no. They said, well, not now, right? So here's the catch. Your system just didn't know how to hear that. They didn't know how to hear not now, or the alignment isn't right, or I've got to check with procurement and I've got to make sure things are right. It didn't know what to do with that. And so now your team's chasing net new traffic when dozens and sometimes hundreds of warm qualified leads are just sitting right there in your CRM, unnurtured, unsegmented, unmessaged. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today, because without a structured re-engagement system, they go dark. It's true. We'll talk a little bit about that. If you're joining, say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Hey everyone, Troy's here from Las Vegas. It's hot. It's hot there too. Yeah, it's hot in the Carolinas. It's really hot. But we're talking about cold leads, so maybe that will make us a little bit cooler. Those leads who are they haven't been touched, they haven't been nurtured. Some of it is just timing. Some of it is just like a lack of system and follow up. So let's give you guys a system and a follow-up process here today. And it's not because they weren't interested per se, it's because they didn't know what to do next. And we didn't meet them where they were. And if your funnel doesn't know how to respond to not now, then you're leaking demand. Yes? So today I'm going to show you how to fix that, okay? And if you need help rewriting your emails or re-engaging those cold leads through email for a cold list, and if you have those B2B contacts just kind of sitting there, you need help with writing that, then I've got a free tool announcement coming up at the end of this. So stay tuned for that. So imagine a free tool that allows you to rewrite your emails based on buyer psychology, not grammar fixes, but psychology, conversion psychology. That's coming up in a few. So stay tuned for that. All right. So before we dive in, I want to show you what we did on LinkedIn here. We had a poll. I'm going to show you something that perfectly captures the core issue. This comment came in after I ran a poll asking why teams don't follow up with cold leads. Curious, because this is a big deal. So Patrick Fetterman, VP of Brand and Digital Strategy at Manufacturer, shared that a company that he was with 15 years ago, they did a 3-month study on this, looking at deals that were marked as lost in the CRM over a 12-month period. You know what they discovered? They discovered that 80% of the deals over that time period, they were not lost to competitors. Despite how they were marked in the system, the project just stalled. That's so interesting to me. So the last sentence, if you're following along with me here on this slide, re-engaging with the prospect was not just a possibility, it led to a high probability of closing the deal. And that's what we're here to talk about today, because these leads aren't lost, they're just overlooked. And that's fixable. And now you'll never have to wonder where your next deal is coming from. And as you can see to the top right, the results of the poll, most people were not really sure who's worth pursuing. So that was also really interesting when people took the poll. They didn't know who to reach out to, even though they had a CRM. Super, super interesting. Okay, so I asked Patrick why he thinks teams missed the opportunity, and his answer was spot on. There's a reluctance on the part of the sales team to re-engage after they've mentally checked off the list, and there are inaccuracies inside of the CRM about the definition of lost and how these supposed lost leads are actually tracked. Have you seen this option in the CRM that says timing, offer, procurement aren't all aligned at the moment? Activate nurture sequence when signal ready when readiness hits. That doesn't really exist. Therefore, we pass these leads over. Yeah. So here's what happens. Sales mentally checks the box when there's no reply and moves on. CRMs, they often don't give us the clear intel when the prospect just goes quiet. But silence doesn't mean loss, it just means paused. Write that down if you need to. And without a reactivation plan, those paused deals never get a second chance. And who here is ready for the fix? Because there's hidden pipeline sitting right now in your CRM. I'm going to say that again. There's hidden pipeline right now sitting in your CRM. You already paid for it with time, team resources, ad spend, and content creation. But the moment someone doesn't convert immediately, they get dumped into a generic newsletter, and that's best case scenario. A lot of times, there's no follow up at all. Now, who here can admit that I might have done this, I might have seen this, or allowed this? Oh, they didn't say yes. Oh, well, move on. Let's go chase the cold lead. But I read a stat a couple years ago saying that a cold lead or dormant lead in your database is still worth 33% of an actual active lead. So they're like about a third of the way there. You just have to get them there through your follow-up and sequences. Versus a cold lead who's starting from 0%. Does that make sense? All right, so here's what the data says from Zendesk. Companies with a structured nurture flows generate 50% more sales-ready leads at a 33% lower cost. Oof. So if you're wondering, where should I invest my marketing dollars for a higher return on investment than prioritizing chasing cold leads as your only lever in your arsenal, then this is it. Troy says, yeah, this is so me. I don't like bothering people. Yeah, such a good point. Troy says that he doesn't like bothering people. So if they tell him no once, it's kind of like we are mentally checked out of that space on to the next. And that's honest. Most of us do that. But I want to leave a truth here with you. And if you need to write this down because they assume that silence is permanent. But what's meaningful is to understand that there's fortune in the follow-up. There's fortune in the follow-up, and most people are not doing that. Most people are moving on. But if you can be the minority and actually follow up and have those plans in place, you can start out with doing manual and having a hybrid of manual and automated, and then having automation as you learn what's working through the manual follow-up, through the messaging, through how you're targeting and connecting with your personas and your ICP. This allows you to actually capitalize and close more deals when you're wondering, okay, when's my next client going to come and where are they going to come from? And a lot of times they're right underneath our nose. It's a good point. Troy says, yeah, that's me on everything. It's honest and it's true and it's natural. Let's chase. But yet, hold on, let's be a little bit strategic here, because if we truly believe that a cold lead or a lead that told us no originally is still worth 33% of an actual active lead, then we still got some work to be done. And some of those leads can convert. It might not be immediately, but they can. And especially as you begin to partner in their pursuit and join them with helping them accomplish what they're trying to do. So understanding based on behavior or engagement, what they're trying to accomplish, and then partnering with them in that pursuit. And then you become the trusted advisor. And so sales becomes service and support versus hard selling. I'm going to let that sit for a second. All right, let's keep going. Right now, your CRM is full of unlooked momentum. The contact who downloaded your pricing page, remember them? What happened to them? The org that showed up to your last webinar but never booked, what happened to them? The lead who consumed your social post and commented on it, what happened to that person? The founder who listened to your company's podcast, what happened to that person? Friends, they're still interested. They just haven't been activated. And that's where most teams drop the ball. Here's what we implemented to make the difference. Re-engagement structures. Okay, here's 3. Feel free to screenshot this. If you want the slides, you can get the slides. You just got to let me know, and then we'll go ahead and give you the link, which is the wait list or the newsletter. We'll be sending all of these things out. So just let us know what you would need. But this is what you're going to think about. Number 1, trigger workflows. This follow-up strategy is based on inactivity plus last engagement. 2 things. They haven't engaged, and what was the last thing that they did? For example, no activity for 90 days equals re-engagement sequence, and not an email that says, hey, just checking in. Don't do that. Hey, just wanted to see if you're still interested. Stop. That's not the way to do that. I will have a tool for you to use to do it on your own. Like, literally don't say, hey, I'm just wanting to see if you're interested. Hey, I just want to see if like things change. Like, there are better ways to re-engage. There's psychological triggers and conversion techniques that you can use to re-engage. Again, I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. Number 2, smart segmentation. Segment leads based on source or behavior so that your message matches the context as well as the interest and the content consumption preferences. Someone's always on social, use social. You wouldn't send an email if they haven't been on email in a year. Yeah? And then last but not least, the last bullet here, behavioral re-entry. Re-entry, this is a tactic. Did you know that people want in on things? They want to belong to things. They want access to things. So you can say something like, hey, still want access to X? Click here for fast entry. Oh yeah, I want that. I need that thing. Get them back into your database and start engaging them and understanding your contacts and give them what they need. And then you can say, hey, by the way, do you want help with that? And here's how you can now share your offer. Let me go back to the smart segmentation one, that second bullet. If you're targeting a company by their demographics, company size, industry, and title, like a lot of us do that, right? Industry, title, company size. Those are the leading indicators for the list that you built, okay? Let's just say that that's how you built your list. Then you want to make a follow-up sequence tailored to the psychographics of the folks in that list. So that by the title of that industry for that company. So what are the opportunities, desires, goals, and constraints of the VP, of the CEO of that particular size company in that particular industry? What keeps them up at night? And then speak to those things if that's how you're segmenting your list. Does that make sense? Okay, we're at 14 minutes, almost 15 minutes. We're almost done here. So most of your pipeline problems aren't a lack of leads, they are a lack of reactivation. So I want you to begin to think about your cold leads as warm leads without a next step. Does that sound good? All right, so today we walked through exactly how to build your 3-part re-engagement workflow that respectfully rewarms interest and turns yesterday's not now into tomorrow's booked call. But here's the next problem. What happens after they click? All right, now they clicked the re-entry. What do you do? How do you know who's truly ready to prioritize your efforts and what to say next? If you need a system that spots and responds to those signals, that's exactly why I'm teaching this in my full upcoming training, Turn Signals into Pipeline Without Rebuilding Your Funnel. And there is a wait list for that training. You'll see it here. I'll go ahead and drop it in the comments for you. We are going to be going deep into what the workflows look like, how to identify true intent so that you prioritize your efforts and even set up automation for those folks. I'm excited about this training because now we get to kind of go pull back the curtain and go underneath the hood and tell you exactly the indicators and the signals that you need to look for to build out your funnel. And we all need some automation in our business. We all need automation. So we'll share those winning workflow processes with you in that training. So go ahead and join the list. We'll have it in the comments for you as well. Now, I mentioned that we're going to be sharing an email tool. Sometimes you're in a situation where your leads are interested, yes, but what happens? Your message didn't really work hard enough to connect. Like they were right there, but your message kind of sounded like everyone else's. Maybe it was created with ChatGPT and tweaked by you. Something just didn't miss, like something missed and it didn't connect. So I have a micro tool for you. I'm so excited about this tool. It's going to help you. It's a free tool that is built on psychology. It's not quite ready yet. We've got about 2 weeks left before it launches. But if you want early access to that tool, then definitely join the newsletter. You see it here on the screen, where I'll be demoing the tool to subscribers. So fun, super exciting. All right, next week I'm going live again. It will be the last in this set. I've been going live every week for the last almost 6 weeks. This is my 5th live. I'll see you next week for more on how you grow your business with your leads, your contacts, your emails. And again, join that email list if you want the demo on the tool. And then Troy and I are going to be demoing the tool next week as well on another live. So be sure to join that. We'll drop the link in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.